Welcome to the award-winning IDC in 5. This is a program that gives you the opportunity to interact with the IDC. Now, on the program today, we'll respond to a question from Gabriel.
I followed with keen interest about the transformation agenda at IDC. I'm very curious to know what the mandate of the IDC is and how it benefits me in general as a Zambian citizen. I'm also curious to ask, have there been any dividend payouts, and have the dividend payouts increased? And about the recent oil refinery agreement.
To respond to Gabriel, I have on the program Mr. Cornwell, Muleya, the Chief Executive Officer here at the IDC.
The first role of IDC is to look after state-owned enterprises. These cut across all the 12 sectors of the economy. These enterprises must be efficiently managed. They must play their role in the economy and also bring a return on the investment. The second role is for IDC to make new investments in targeted areas. And typically the objective is to bring not only financial inclusion, but the commercial activities into all the 10 provinces of Zambia. This strategy is centered on long-term planning, ensuring that as we look at any of the sectors in which we are invested, we are looking long-term, and the benefits that we bring at each of these stages, we have milestones on how we'll measure the progress that we are making. The second part is obviously to make the state-owned enterprises more efficient. So that's looking more internal at our processes in the management of these enterprises, how they are organized through our governance processes, the type of culture and focus that we need to have these enterprises be using. The third part is to restructure those that are inefficient, which means bringing programs to refinance those that are not doing well. Where we have new investments that we need to make, then we look for partnerships that bring in new capital that can resuscitate the industries that would have gone down. In between, we look at new projects through our expanded mandate, which includes the creation of a wealth fund, which looks at having resources coming out of our natural endowments, and those will be consolidated to be able to be used during periods of crisis, such as the drought that we experienced last year. And thirdly, of course, broadening the agriculture space into all the different facets, as well as the food industries, which lends itself to processing facilities that ensure that we cut down on the losses once we produce those crops. Looking at the technology space, again, is to modernize our services, make sure that the technology we are using in the country, whether it be through the telecoms network that we are running, and whether it be through our transportation system that we have, as well as the equipment we are using in all these sectors, is modern and brings efficiency and productivity that is required and is comparable to the standards elsewhere. You would have seen that we have made progress in recent years through the increase in dividends that we are seeing from these entities. So these dividends are critical because they do not only bring a return to the entity and on the investments that Zambians would have made through us, but they are also bringing critical resources which we can invest elsewhere. Once we are efficient and we are able to be recognized in our contribution in opening up all the 10 provinces of the country, then we can attract partnerships such as the one that we are seeing through our integrated energy project in Dola, which is going now to allow us to process petrochemicals and bring stability to the energy space and the fuel provisions within Zambia. You can understand why we are focused on bringing every Zambian to understand the activities of IDC, because it's not a corporation that is self-serving. It is a corporation that really gives back to the people of Zambia and looks at their priorities and brings projects which bring them into the economic space through financial inclusion, industrialization, the creation of jobs, the harnessing of resources for response in times of crisis, and that is why we need them to support this institution.
Well, Gabriel, I hope that answers your question. And the die is cast. The narrative is how IDC will implement its 2024 to 2033 strategic focus. This is Charles Chulu, and I'll see you in the next conversation.